All right, looks like this is started. So hello, my name is David Shetzley with Nevada Legal Services, and I'm the senior attorney under the Consumer Law Project. I am here today to give you information about the Consumer Law Project and what type of services this program can provide to Nevada citizens. So, cooperative. There we go. So to start off, what is consumer law? So generally speaking, consumer law is statutes and regulations that protect consumers, which are the buyers in a transaction, from unfair and predatory business practices. So areas of law the Consumer Law Project cover includes bankruptcy, debt collection and consumer lending, deceptive trade practices, financial identity theft, and foreclosure. So I'll address each of these areas of law in turn. So bankruptcies allow those who are unable to pay their debts get a fresh financial start by either eliminating or reorganizing their debts for repayment. So starting with the Chapter 7 bankruptcy, this is what you typically think of when you think of a bankruptcy, which consists the removal of most consumer debt. Now, there are exempt properties, which you get to keep, which are exempt from bankruptcies, which these exemptions are typically found in, for Nevada, it's found in state law under NRS 21.090. And then there's non-exempt properties, which get either distributed to the creditors or you pay to keep those items. Now, conversely, with the Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you're reorganizing that debt by creating an affordable payment plan for the debtor to repay the creditors. This is typically a 3 to 5 year repayment plan. And again, this means that that debt is not discharged. Rather, you're restructuring it to affordable payments. So we assist with both of those types of bankruptcies. Next area of law is debt collection. So debt collectors purchase debt from the original creditors and who then attempt to collect on that previous debt. This debt's typically seen as credit cards, medical debt, but can also include areas such as unpaid rent and other types of similar debt. Debt collection is regulated under the federal statute, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. This places limitations on how debt collectors can go about attempting to collect those debts. This can limit both their communications to the individual who owes the debt. It can limit communications, limit the times they can communicate, and much other restrictions in place. But an important part here is similar to bankruptcies. There are certain incomes and assets that are exempt from any type of collection or judgment. Typically, individuals that have exempt income or properties are seen as collection proof, meaning you can have a judgment against you, but that judgment cannot be collected on. So while there is a judgment for debt out there, it cannot be acted on. And this is typically seen with elderly individuals that have Social Security, which cannot be collected on. Most of their assets fall under the exemptions. And for the most part, you can ignore the judgment as long as you follow the proper procedures upon a claim of exemption with the court and notifying the court that your assets and income are exempt. So next area of law, deceptive trade practices. So these are activities by an individual or business that are meant to mislead or misinform recipients of goods or services. This is codified under NRS 598. And this is it's a very broad area of law, but it includes, but not limited to, non-compliance with manufacturing standards, false representations in the sales of goods or services, and breaches of warranty as well. And the next area of law, be financial identity theft. This includes compromised existing financial accounts or the creation of new financial accounts by an unauthorized third party acting in your name. Personally identifiable information involved in financial identity theft includes credit or debit card numbers, your name, address, phone, email address, and social security number. A good resource to just start off with if this does occur to you is the website identitytheft.gov. This is set up by the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, in which if you experience identity theft, it essentially writes a complaint to the FTC for you. And in turn, they give you a personalized recovery plan. So just if you have any inclinations or anything of the sort, that identity theft occurred, it's a good starting point. Gets everything documented. You get an immediate plan to go forward. And then if further assistance is possible, we can hopefully provide that for you. And then the final area here is foreclosures. So missing payments on a mortgage may cause a loan to go into default, and the mortgage lender may be able to sell the property to pay off that loan. Now, a notice of default will need to be sent via registered or certified mail to the homeowner and each guarantor. This must also be recorded with the county recorder's office. And if you're experiencing a foreclosure within 30 days of receiving that notice of default, you have two really good options available to you. And that includes these programs mentioned below: foreclosure mediation and loan modification. Those are only available within the first 30 days of receiving that notice of default, and you must act quickly. And this is something we are able to assist with. So these are the areas of law that we are able to cover in the Consumer Law Project. If you think you may have been affected by any of these situations, or if you believe our services can be of assistance to you, please call our offices. You can set up an intake and we can go from there. Again, my name is David Shetzley. I'm in the Reno office of Nevada Legal Services. And that's it. So thank you. Bye. All right. Are we good?